So hey everyone, welcome. If this is your first College Empower Hour, welcome to your first time. If this is your second, welcome back. We're so glad to have you here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jess Vocatoro. I'm the new manager of high school programs here at Achieve Miami. In my role, I work with our high school team to implement current and future programs, including our junior advisory board, as well as this new exciting virtual resource, which is the College Empower Hour. We're so excited to have you join us today because we have brought in some serious college admissions experts and great friends of Achieve Miami to talk about college admissions in times of uncertainty, which is a topic I am sure many of you are very curious about as you seek to advance your college readiness journeys in this global moment of COVID-19. Before I hand over the mic, I just wanted to thank and introduce today's experts. Mandee Heller Adler here with us today, the founder and president of International College Counselors. She is a world-renowned college counseling expert. She's the author of two well-known fast-selling books, including From Public School to the Ivy League, How to Get into a Top School Without Top Dollar Resources, as well as International Admissions, How to Get Accepted to U.S. Colleges. She attended University of Pennsylvania, was a Benjamin Franklin Scholar, graduated with honors. She's earned 2 degrees, one from Wharton, one from the College of Arts and Sciences. And she also holds an MBA from Harvard Business School. She studied all over the place. She's probably saying, oh my God, this lady's singing my praises more than I expected, but we are so happy to have her here because she knows the process, the college admissions process inside and out. On top of that, she's a dedicated servant to our community here and serves on multiple boards, including the Pinecrest School Family Association. And she's a big supporter of Achieve Miami, and we are so excited to have her and International College Counselors with us today. Just as many of you know, this particular College Empower Hour is part of the 10 Days of Connection initiative. And there's a follow-up survey that the 10 Days of Connection folks would be very unhappy with me if I did not share. So I just plopped that into the chat. Please take a moment at the end of this to fill it out. I filled one out for the last event that I attended, and it was very, very quick, no more than 2 minutes. And with that, I will turn the mic over to Mandee. Mandee, thank you so much, and take it away.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. Well, you have a little bit of my bio, but I want to give you 2 seconds on how I ended up in college counseling. So as Jessica so kindly mentioned, I went to some fancy colleges, but more importantly, I grew up in South Florida. I went to Miami Beach Senior High, go High Tides. Actually, with all these high schools, I don't see Beach High on there, but all good. I graduated from there, went to Pennsylvania, ended up working in investment banking. I went to business school. After business school, I started an internet company. I sold an internet company when I was pretty young, and then worked for the company that acquired us. And then when I moved back to South Florida and was like, okay, here I am. I can do anything I want to do. What do I do? What do I want to do? What matters to me? What's meaningful? Why am I here? And I realized that I had all these amazing opportunities because of education. So I really believe in education. You don't want to come to our company unless you really believe in education. We believe that education changes lives, and that college is a great place to start just a really fabulous upward trajectory for children. And that's our vision, and that's our dream, and that's International College Counselors. And we pretty much help with anything related to college admissions. And I will say that every child is different. So this webinar is going to be fairly generic, although it's going to be catered to what's happening now with the COVID-19. So if you have particular questions, please feel free to reach out. I think on every slide, there should be an email address, or the next one, so there should be an email address, and you can visit my website if you have questions. And also we're gonna be giving, and I don't think I shared this with Jessica, but we're giving 1 free hour of counseling to anyone who is on this webinar. Yay. So just for being here, you get, it's $250 normally worth. You'll get a free hour of counseling. So hopefully you'll take advantage of that after the webinar. All right. So, so basically what I want to talk about today is what is happening in college admissions because of COVID-19. And there are different things happening, of course, impacting different classes. And I want to talk briefly about the class of 2020, because I see that 2 of you are actually seniors, and this is probably a really scary time for the seniors. In particular, some things that are happening are, number one, for any of the senior, well, hopefully you have seniors who have applied to college, there are these huge wait lists, which we never saw before. And what a wait list is, for those of you with younger students, is basically they don't say, we're not letting you in, we're not letting you not in, you're going to be on a wait list. Whereas if we have space, we will let you on. The cool thing about the class of 2020 is that a lot of the kids are getting off the wait list. So historically, I would say to kids like, the wait list, yeah, whatever. Just this morning, we had students get off the wait list for Carnegie Mellon. We've had students get off the wait list at Emory, NYU, Tufts. So gosh, the wait lists are moving, and that's a big change for the class of 2020. If you are in a wait list and you don't know what to do, use your hour to talk to us, and we'll give you some tips and ways to get off the wait list. Another thing for the class of 2020, a lot of the media is talking about deferrals. So what they're saying is that children are going to defer going to college next year, and that's really going to impact the current juniors, really freaking out my current juniors, because of all these senior deferrals, which means they're going to take up the space for the students of next year. Thus far, from all the admissions reps we've talked to, that is more a great theory than it is in practice. There actually haven't been as many deferrals as they said there would be. And colleges are making it pretty clear that they aren't necessarily going to allow students to defer. So this fear of, current seniors taking the place of current juniors, if that's something that's keeping you up at night, please don't let it. Once again, if it is causing you angst, please use your hour and we can talk you through it. And then finally, for the class of 2020, students are being asked to choose a college without actually visiting it. And that's definitely a bummer. But there are a bunch of ways that you can still explore colleges online. And we'll actually talk about that for the younger classes, but there's online info sessions, tours. They're matching students with current students in order to learn about colleges. Do I think it's as good as visiting a school? No. Do I think it's the reality? Yeah. But once again, if you have a question about a college, you want to use your hour for that, please feel free. And congratulations, those of you on in the class of 2020. So this is for the class of 2021. So those are students who are current juniors, I guess even in current juniors. And this might be relevant to some sophomores as well. So the ACT and the biggest, and I'm going to talk briefly about standardized tests because that's a big changes. The ACT, as a lot of you know, have canceled a number of its spring dates. However, they still do have two dates, supposedly, 2 dates in June and 2 dates in July. Those have not yet been canceled. They're also offering the ACT in September, October, and December. So the big takeaways as far as the change are there's 2 dates in June and July that still have not been canceled, as well as they're maintaining their exams in the fall. Now the SAT, for those of you with high school juniors know, have canceled their June test date. However, they plan to go ahead in August. There is a new date in September. There's a date in October, November, and December. And here's something that's super important. A lot of students are saying, well, perhaps they'll be canceled. The corona is still going to be an issue and I'll never take the test. According to SAT and ACT, they are going to be offering their tests online if needed in the fall. So that's kind of a big deal. So students know that they will be offered, but you might be taking it online, which I don't know, for me, that doesn't seem that good. They also are going to increase test center capacity. So if your fear is, oh my God, they canceled all these test dates, how am I possibly going to sign up for the fall? The answer is they're going to increase the capacity so that hopefully there will be room for everybody on the later dates, hopefully. Of course, if it's online, there's room for everybody, so that's good, I guess. But basically, we're going to try to make more test center capacity for the dates. Now, here's a huge thing, and this is really why the slide is here. A lot of schools are going to test optional, it's called, and it's really confusing families, or it's confusing parents, and kids are basically saying, haha, I don't need the SAT and the ACT because now my school of choice is test optional. And there are some really big name schools that are test optional, right? We have Cornell, we have Tufts, we have the University of California system, the entire darn system going test optional. So, so that's a big deal. However, what I want to say to everyone on this call, everyone, all ages, moms, kids, test optional does not really mean don't take the test. Test optional means you do not have to submit the test if you are unable to take the test. So yes, so if there's a situation when you're unable to take the test, then it's optional, right? So historically, if you were unable to take the test, Cornell, Tufts, University of California, all these schools would just say, no test score, we're not looking at your application. Now what they're saying is if you're unable to take test for a valid reason, we will still look at your application. And just to back up what I had to say, here's a response from Cornell about the SAT and the ACT. And what they said is, in Cornell's review during the 2020-2021 application cycle, results from the ACT or SAT might still be a meaningful differentiator, in particular for students who, number one, live near or attend a school that will be open and where testing will be offered, or live near a testing center that will be offering more testing seats or dates than they did in 2019, right? And of course, if the exam goes online, most people will be everyone will be living near an open testing center. And number two, have not experienced lost income for one or more of their household providers or other significant new hardships and losses during 2020. And I actually think this is wonderful. So Cornell and a lot of the colleges are recognizing that so many of our students, their lives might be in turmoil and turned upside down, and they just simply may not be able to take the test, in which case, once again, Cornell will still, Tufts, Amherst, William will still consider your application. Just you have to explain why you didn't send the SAT or the ACT. So for most of the students on this call, you still will need it. However, if something happens and you're unable to take the test, please know that a lot of schools will still consider applications. So for some students on this call, there will be additional tests in addition to SAT and ACT. Those might include subject tests, AP exams, IB exams, A-level exams. And what they're saying, most colleges are saying that now those are optional. I actually can't think of a single school where subject test is required at this point. And actually the IB exams and A-level exams are canceled. So, they're certainly optional. But here's what Yale says. We do not expect students currently enrolled in academic year courses associated with any of these tests to complete these exams in spring or summer 2020. Students may choose to complete these exams this year if circumstances allow or not. So thinking about this, if you want to go to Yale, you kind of need a really good reason why you didn't take the test. But if you have a really good reason, then don't worry about it at all. A really good reason is not, I just wasn't in the mood, but a really good reason could be someone got sick, or I wasn't able to take the exam, or I didn't have the proper computer, or the phone lines, not the phone lines, the internet lines weren't allowing me to take the test in an appropriate way. So know that these additional tests are optional. Going back to the free 1 hour, if you're not 100% sure what I'm talking about when I say subject tests, AP exams, let me know. IB exams and A-level exams are mostly for students who live abroad. So if you've never heard of those, do not worry. All right, moving on. Okay, so this is, next slide is actually for, so the first slide was on seniors, the next slide was really for juniors and sophomores. This one is for everyone in high school. And the two biggest questions I'm getting from families is, so now that my school is online, pass fail, no finals, gosh, what are schools doing? Sending me packets, how are colleges going to view my transcripts, right? And the answer to that is a lot of people don't know, but colleges have regional reps, and it's the regional reps' job to understand your school as best as they can and to put you in the context of your school. So if your school is going pass fail, you are not expected to get a letter grade. If your school is saying no finals, you are not expected to have a final. So they're looking at your transcript in light of what your school is offering. And one thing that all my friends in admissions did say, quite frankly, is that there still will be 2.5 years, assuming this ends, there still will be 2.5 years where we have regular traditional grades in a regular traditional classroom. And so those will probably be looked at more closely. You won't have this last semester. So colleges will have the other 2.5 years, and they'll view this as it should be viewed, kind of an outlier, but that you're doing what you can do in the context of your school. I hope that makes sense. And we can certainly talk about that more. I'm going to open it up for questions. If that's a question, let me know. Oh, and I see that there's a question. I'm sorry, I missed it. Is registration for August still open? I'm assuming you mean for either SAT or the ACT. I'm not even sure it has opened yet, to be honest. I believe that the students for the SAT who were registered in June and they canceled on them, they have first priority for the fall, but I'm not sure if it's open yet. You can just look on College Board, and College Board will tell you if it's definitely still open. If it had opened, I'm just not sure if it had opened yet. Okay, so moving to my next question for the rest of the classes. How will they view my transcript? The second one is, how will colleges view my extracurriculars? So it's a similar question relating to transcripts, right? So I was supposed to play softball and no more softball. I was supposed to be in the science fair and no more science fair. How will colleges view the fact that I didn't play softball this year? I didn't play lacrosse. I didn't run track. Well, here's the cool thing about the whole world being under quarantine. Colleges know, colleges know that you weren't able to run track or lacrosse. It actually would be super weird if on your resume you said that you were able to do any of those things. So colleges will view extracurriculars in the context of what you were able to do. They totally understand that everything was canceled, so not a worry at all. And moving with that, just to give you some actual college result. We have Vanderbilt's response, and what they say is remain committed to a holistic admissions evaluation process that places high value on the context from which you apply. We understand even now that your transcripts will look different than what you might have imagined, that your exam record will be different than you planned, and that you may seek recommendations from different teachers than you would have liked. Know that we understand and we are prepared to evaluate your files with this new reality in mind. So they totally get it. Holistic admissions those are phrases that they use to discuss the fact that they look at your grades, your test scores, your environment, your contacts, your extracurricular activities. They look at everything together. It's not like one missing thing is going to keep you out of a college. And they remain committed to seeing who you are in once again, the context of your environment. With that in mind, we have Northwestern's response about extracurricular commitments. They will no doubt change in nature as you stay at home. Many of your activities are on hold. Some of you may be caring for family members or even become ill yourselves. I hope not, but it's probably true. We will, of course, be mindful of the profound changes to daily life that everyone is experiencing as we review applications in the coming admission cycles. So once again, they are not expecting you to be running track and field, winning the non-existent DECA competition, winning the non-existent science fair competition. So do not fear for that. So this is huge, right? The changing picture for the summer. Most summer programs at this point have been canceled. As of a few days ago, I was still holding out hope for summer camps, but I'm sort of losing faith. Even though all my friends are posting things about their kids going to summer camp, I'm not so sure. But so most of them have been canceled. Some are offering online options. And so a lot of you on here might be thinking, now what? And I do want to say that my thought has changed for this slide than 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, I was saying, this is a period in time, and you can sort of take it for what it is and use it as a time to relax or use it as a time to learn something new. However, if your kids are home all summer, especially if they're looking for the more competitive colleges, I do think they need to use that time in a meaningful way. And so then you ask, well, what is a meaningful way? Well, I have some ideas. Okay, so there are a bunch of different ways you can use your time at home. And the reason I should just take one step and say, why do I think kids need to do something at home this summer? So colleges do look for kids who are interested, engaged, involved. And, if we are home for 4 or 5 months, at some point we can find something that we can do. And also, colleges looking for kids who are resilient and creative, and doing something online, doing something from home during this time can certainly showcase that about your child. So if your child's interested in doing something academic, There are a lot of things they can do from home. One of my favorite programs, IMAX, is right here in South Florida. You can take some online math and computer science classes. Those are for children who are really advanced in math, so gifted in math and computer science. You can keep going. There's something called MOOCs, and those are free. MOOCs are massive, open, online courses. They are free courses offered a lot of times by Ivy League schools, and you can find them online, and man, there are thousands of them. So if your child is interested in learning online, you don't have to pay anything. You can just look online on one of these MOOCs, Google any of these, and you will come up with more classes than you ever imagined existed. Then there are these contests and activities that are online. The Crown Education Challenge is one of my favorites. That's being put on, I believe, by Stanford and Harvard professors. And there's basically a contest for students as far as submitting ideas as to what can be done relating to the coronavirus. If you win, I believe you get mentorships with Stanford and Harvard people, which is pretty stinking cool. So that's the Crown Education Challenge. Students can also do extra coursework for high school credit through FLVS. I know a lot of you on here go to public school. So this is super important if you don't know about this. So through Florida Virtual School, it's free, and you can take free classes and you can get ahead in school, or you can replace classes in school. So let's say you want to get Spanish out of the way, or French, or biology. You can do it over the summer, and you can do it for free, and you can do it online and be done. Let's say there's like a really horrible AP history teacher next year. Do it online, be done with it. I mean, that's not what they say it's for, but trust me, you can do it online and get the high school credit. Another big secret for public school students that hopefully you know about is dual enrollment. So if you live in Broward, you can do that through Broward College. If you live in Dade, you can do that through Miami-Dade College. And dual enrollment, you actually get AP credit for. So man, you can take guitar or ceramics or photography and get college credit for it, and AP credit for it, and high school credit for it. So it's amazing. So you can either take these high school classes for credit through FLVS and still get the high school credit, and that's great. Or you can do dual enrollment and get the AP credit, or the AP credit as far as you know, the extra points on your transcript. The one thing I will caution with dual enrollment is that if you don't do well, that stays on your transcript into perpetuity. So it's not like high school that goes away. Your college transcript stays with you if ever you want to apply to graduate school. So just be careful with that. Other things you can do from home. You can volunteer, right? So you can tutor, not with Achieve Miami, unfortunately. A month ago, I gave this presentation and Achieve Miami was on here, but you can tutor. So a lot of students out there still need help, you know, especially if you think about the fact that some of the younger kids had a lot of trouble with the online schooling. Maybe reach out to an elementary school teacher of yours and see if they have any students that need some help. Talk to some friends, see if there are younger students that need some help. But you know, the internet is actually a pretty decent platform for tutoring, and it's something you can certainly do. Zoom is free, so feel free to use your time that way. You can translate. There are a bunch of companies and nonprofits looking for people to help them translate. So here in South Florida, I know a lot of us speak multiple languages, so you can feel free to just got a text and it like threw me off. You can feel free to help translate into different languages, whether it's Creole or Spanish or another language that you speak. Another thing that you can do is volunteer for nonprofit organizations. The UN actually has a lot of volunteer needs. So if you're interested in sort of social justice or international relations, please feel free to look up the UN online and volunteer organizations. Amnesty International is looking for people. There's a cool company called Be My Eyes, where actually through an app, you're able to help people who are blind to see. So, so in addition to all the academic things you could possibly do, you can volunteer through a bunch of different online ways as well. Oh, and I see in the chat, Achieve Miami is working hard to find ways to engage the high school students. So that's amazing. So maybe you can volunteer with Achieve Miami too, but for now, you'll have to seek it out on your own. Or feel free to call me in that hour and I'll try to help you find something as well. What else can you do from home? So as those of you who know me know, I'm not a big internet person. And I have found all kinds of things online, so I know you can too. Online, you can explore museums, zoos. We can actually watch Broadway shows. They have these like cool sort of websites where you can visit national parks. You can actually see the Disney or the parades, everything virtually. So all this stuff exists. That's cool stuff to do. I'm not saying that's going to go on your college application, but you can use your time to learn and to grow and to see places you wouldn't be able to see before. And you can even explore a passion. So you can explore a new musical instrument, art, or language. So, you know, pretty cool. You can try something new. I will say in my house, we're learning all kinds of new instruments. I got a ukulele for Hanukkah, and I'm trying to learn the ukulele. It's pretty unsuccessful, but it's, you know, it's different, it's something to do. All right, another thing you can do this while home is it's a great time to refine your college list. So some people are bummed that they can't go visit colleges. I actually think it's okay because now I can attend all the online information sessions that I want, and I don't have to leave my house. So what that means is that when schools do open, I can go see the colleges that my kids are interested in, as compared to going and spending all this money to see colleges, having them sit through the information session and be like, right? So, so any college you go to, any college website you go to, you're going to find information on online information sessions and tours. So for example, let's say you thought, hey, University of Michigan, that sounds like a cool school. Well, prior to this, you would have had to fly to Michigan to check it out. Now you can do the online information session and tour. And then if you like it, then you can fly to visit it, or at least feel comfortable knowing that you had a great opportunity to check out the school online. Colleges are not expecting you to go visit now, so do not worry about that. There are also companies that do these tours, uvisit.com, campustours.com, so all free and all great ways for you to learn about colleges. Another thing you can do is connect with colleges via social media. So they all have Facebook pages and websites, and you can connect with the college that way and learn about them. And then you can also stay in touch with the college rep. So you can email college reps. It's just a great way to get to know colleges. And once again, it's all free. And you know, if you're on an online info session, you like it, so you get off. Hopefully you won't do that with this webinar, but you can certainly do that with the online info sessions. All right, so now is the time. I'm exactly at 5 o'clock where I open it up to questions. Please ask your questions. I have to imagine that there are questions from this group. If you don't, I'll be super surprised, because I've been doing webinars every week and it's just a really super confusing time. If not, I will offer some questions that other people have been asking me. But please don't be shy if you have a question.
Mandy, you have a question here that Andrea had asked. Should my rising junior focus this summer on ACT or SAT? Should she only spend energy on one if pre-scores were better on one test?
So awesome question. I usually, if the child has taken a question, if child has taken a if the child has taken a diagnostic of both tests, because I always recommend that the children try both tests. So assuming the child has taken a diagnostic of both tests and finds that they prefer one, you know, just because they do better on it, then yeah, I would focus on that one test. There are no brownie points for taking two tests. There's no balloon for taking two tests. So I highly recommend the student, yeah, to focus on the one that he or she did better on and go for it. They can still take the other tests in the fall, but if they should start out focusing on the one that the child does better on, for sure. Oh, I see here now. There's questions on the Q&A as well as the chat. I guess that's the. Oh, I have one counselor sounds great. How do we do that? So Sandra asks, the 1 hour with a counselor sounds great. How do we do that? So we will do that after today's webinar. I'll reach out to each of you, or someone from my office will reach out to you with the information on the 1 hour counselor. So no worries about that. I'm having trouble reading the Q&A. If someone could just open that up, I have the webinar, or if people can enter their questions into the chat as compared to the Q&A. I can't read the Q&A.
Here's another one, Mandee. When will we, class of 2021, be able to apply to colleges?
Oh, great question. So class of 2021, you are a current junior. So the applications open in August 1st. So theoretically, you could apply August 1st, but most of the deadlines are, the earliest deadlines are November 1st. And then extend, there's something called rolling admissions. So actually you could start getting in August 1st all the way through, April or May, but there are some hard and fast deadlines, usually November 1st and January 1st. So the long and short answer of that is starting August 1st, you could start applying to colleges, especially the ones in Florida, which have this rolling admissions and the sooner you get it in, the better. So I highly recommend, getting on that call. It's called Common App website, August 1st.
Okay, another one from Gift. I was supposed to take the SAT on March 14th, but it was canceled. Will I still be able to take it again?
So yeah, so you should have received an email from College Board. And if you didn't, maybe you weren't signed up for the SAT, so it's actually isn't so bad. But you should have received an email from them with telling you that you have been rescheduled for June. And then the June, you should have received another email saying that they've rescheduled you for August. So you still have to register for it in August. And someone had asked me whether or not the August date, was open. I don't know if the August date was open, but I can tell you that, they are expecting you to register for it in August, and they'll carry over your pricing and all kinds of stuff, or your payment for August.
Here's the last one from the Q&A. How will financial aid be affected for current juniors? Since colleges are making less money this year, will there be less money in the pot?
So that's what people are asking. I think there might be, right? I think there might be less money in the pot. It makes me sad if that's the case, but I think colleges are going to have a tough time right now. I read an article today about public colleges having a lot of trouble. The thing is, though, if you're eligible for federal aid, I'm hoping that's still there, right? So there are two types of I guess scholarships. There's need-based aid, and that money hopefully will still be there, at least on the federal level, right? So if your parents make less than a certain amount of money, then you should be able to still get that aid. The question is on the school-based scholarships as well as the merit scholarships, whether or not those will be there. And my guess is it might be less than before. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, so a few questions in the chat, and that's awesome. Once again, please feel free to enter the questions in the chat. The Q&A is just hard for me to multitask with all those places. Do I have any updates on Bright Futures? Great question. If you are a senior, look at me, I'm looking at my little green light, and you have not signed up for Bright Futures, you need to sign up for Bright Futures now. I don't care if you are going out of state. I don't care if you don't want to go to Florida. Just do it, because then it is yours. As far as the updates, I do believe what they're saying is they're going to accept later SAT and ACTs, if that is the question. You still will need an SAT or an ACT for Bright Futures, I believe. Just make sure you register and do the best you can in order to fill those requirements. Actually, I think I heard something about the PSAT accepting for, you know what? I don't know. How's that? All I know is definitely sign up for the Bright Futures. If you have questions about a particular piece of it, please email me and I will find it out for you. So I'm not going to say something wrong on this webinar. But Bright Futures, for those of you who don't know what that is, if you live in Florida, which all of you do, it is a really nice scholarship for in-state students. If you register for it and you get it, even though you go to Pennsylvania or Boston or something like that, if you ever decide to come home from college, it's yours. So I always say, I don't care how rich you are, I don't care how far you want to go, just get it, it's yours. It's a really awesome insurance policy. I'm looking down here. How ahead can we get our college applications? This is from Hillary. I have finished my personal statement and want to be as ahead as possible. So you know what you could do, Hillary, right now is you can go to something called the Common App, commonapp.org, I believe, and you can fill out your Common application already. And that's pretty great. What I would not start doing is my supplements. And supplements are supplemental or additional essays by particular colleges. And the reason I would not do those is because they have not been confirmed. So it would be really stinky if you spent all your time writing all these essays that are not being used. So I would spend my time, I would fill out the Common application, think about what colleges you might want to go to. That's a good way to use your time. And then as the essays start coming out over the summer, you can certainly work on those. All right. Oh, this is a good question. Thanks, Stephanie. How can I get a teacher recommendation if I'm not at school? Okay, well, I'm guessing you can still email your teachers. Actually, I'm not guessing. I know you can still email your teachers. So I would email your teachers and let them know that a letter of recommendation is coming. If you attend a private school, there's usually a form that you fill out, and you can fill that form out online through every private school that I know of. For the public school kids, you will be inviting those teachers usually through the Common application, but you will not be inviting them yet through the Common application because, right, it goes live in August. However, what you can do is let the teachers know that you will be inviting them, because it would, just take my word for it. I used to work in a school, and it was so much nicer to have a kid tell me before the summer that I'd be writing a letter of recommendation than after the summer. I had so much more time. I could, you know, I had the summer, so I could write a really great letter. When kids told me, or I got some email in the fall saying, hey, we need a letter of recommendation, I just didn't have the same amount of time. So definitely give your teachers a heads up if you're going to ask them for letter of recommendation, and an email is just fine. Depending on your relationship with your teacher, you could say, hey, do you mind if we schedule a call? I'd like to talk to you about a letter of recommendation. That would be better than just an email like, dear Mrs. Whatever, I would like to ask you for a letter of recommendation. But certainly it all can be done online. All right. Someone is asking, will ED dates change? I don't know, but I don't think they will. I don't, and ED, just so you know, that's early decision. And that's usually the first round of dates. I don't think they'll change, because for the applicants, nothing really has changed as far as what they still need to have gotten done, especially if the SAT and ACT go online. And also the colleges need the time to go through the application. So I don't think they will change. All right, here's another one. Is there another way to fulfill the community service requirement during the quarantine? I'm going to say that again, because this is a Stephanie question also. Is there any way to fulfill the community service requirement during the quarantine? So going back to my slide before about volunteer hours, there are all kinds of ways to volunteer. I know Stephanie mentioned that she would like to have something through Achieve, but assuming there aren't Achieve opportunities, please do check out the UN or check out Amnesty International, or email me. I can send you a whole bunch of other options. You know, you can help. You can write letters to an elderly center. You could perhaps volunteer with a food pantry. I mean, there are ways to volunteer from home. You know, if during our hour maybe we can brainstorm. There's a bunch of different things you can do. But yes, you can still earn community service from home. Not as easily, but certainly some things that you can do. This is from Hillary. She says, when do the supplements come out usually? So that's a great question. So they all come out August 1st, right? So we've accepted that August 1st is the date when all the applications are out, more or less. However, some supplements dribble out early. So, and actually my company's website, once they start coming out, we'll have a button on our website that says essays, and we list all the essays as they come out. And that's actually the most popular page on our website, usually over the summer. So we make it our business to find out the websites or find out the essays the minute they come out, and then we put them up. Particularly schools that have horrible essays, like the University of Chicago or University of Michigan. What I mean by horrible is like University of Chicago has essays that are just like find X or where's Waldo, or just really whacked out essays. Like quite frankly, you appreciate the summer in order to write. And then Michigan last year had 3 to 5 essays, supplements, which is a lot. So to make a long story short, when we find those essays, we post them, but they all will be available August 1st. Okay. What else? Oh, here's from Kira. Hello, I want to know if you have any good scholarship websites. So we do. First of all, actually going back to email, if you email me, we usually have monthly scholarship lists. We can send you the list for this month. But gosh, the big scholarship websites. Sherry, do you know the big scholarship websites? What are they?
There's FastWeb, there's scholarships.com, there's an app called Scholly, there's, those are a few of the bigger ones.
Okay, awesome. And then I see on here that you got a great answer from Jessica that there's a bi-weekly high school newspaper with some scholarship opportunities. So check that out too. Part of the overwhelming problem with scholarships is that there are hundreds of thousands of them. So just culling through the scholarships is a chore in of itself. So certainly check out Achieve Miami's. Most high schools also send out scholarship emails. So check out your high school scholarship emails, because the easiest scholarships to get also are the ones that are most targeted. So if there's a scholarship, let's say targeting to your community or your city or your county, the chance of you getting that is a lot bigger than like the Coca-Cola scholarship that goes to everybody. Our students tend to fill out a lot of scholarships, and we don't usually have winners of the big national ones because that's simply a numbers game. But we do have students who win like the Optimist one or the one from local Kiwanis Club or certainly the school PTSA ones. And just for everyone to know, International College Counselors, we have a scholarship. And the interesting thing is how few kids apply to the damn scholarship. So I definitely recommend filling them out, because we have had years where we've had less than 5 scholarship winners, less than 5 scholarship applicants, and we're giving out $250. So don't be afraid to apply to scholarships. But once again, the more targeted ones, I think, are the easier ones to get.
We have some other questions on the Q&A, Mandee. Here's one from Kelly. Should we submit a resume when asking for a letter of recommendation?
So I would actually, if you could, talk to the teacher to find out what that teacher needs. Ideally, you don't submit a resume, because what we don't want is this teacher talking about your resume, because the teacher probably doesn't know anything about the resume. What do we want the teacher saying? Oh, she's great, she's captain of the volleyball team. Well, the admissions officers see that in your, on your activities list. What you really want the teacher to do is to talk about, so there are basically 2 letters of recommendation you get. You get one from a teacher, right? 1 or 2. And what the purpose of that is to talk about you as a student. So if the teacher is talking about you as captain of the lacrosse team, which is something you know nothing about, they're not really talking about you as a student. So I definitely recommend, if you can, helping them talk about you as a student, in which case, maybe the letter that you send to the teacher, if you're not able to have the conversation, you can call out things like, hey, remember when I was in your class and I really, went over and beyond with the paper on, Edgar Allan Poe, or remember when we were in class and we had that discussion on Herbert Hoover, and you said that my analysis was really unusual, or remember in your class when I tutored that child in order to help him get ahead. So helping give the teacher academic reasons would be amazing. Sometimes your school counselor wants your resume, because the school counselor's job is to put you in the context of the school. So it is good for your school counselor to know all the things that you've done. So to make a long story short, if the teacher or counselor is asking for your resume, you kind of have to give it to them. But ideally, we find a teacher, or you can speak to a teacher and sort of gear them to talk about you as a student, and not necessarily as, captain of the band or president of the band or whatever. Hope that helps. Anything else in the Q&A, Sherry, before I?
Yes, someone had asked, my counselor said I could start the Common Application over the summer. Do I not do that?
So you can start the Common App now. So yeah, absolutely, start your Common App. On August 1st, it'll open, meaning it'll roll over to the current version. However, whatever you fill out now or this summer will still be included. So usually the newer versions will have a few more buttons or a few more things to fill out. But everything you fill out now will count. And then going back to what I said before, after August 1st, all the supplements, or most of the supplements, should be out. So whatever you do now won't be lost. So I agree with your counselor, fill it out now or over the summer, and then you'll have to continue filling it out August 1st when it becomes, when it opens with the new I guess it just opens with the new 2021, information.
Another one is, what do you suggest a junior to be doing right now to be ready for college so we won't have to do everything last minute in our senior year?
Gosh, that's a great question, Kira. So the biggest thing we're having our juniors do, I know that someone previously said they finished their Common App essay, which is amazing and so highly unusual, is to get started on your Common App essay. Our company actually offers essay help. So if you don't want to hire a big college counselor for all kinds of stuff, we could just work with someone just on the essays, and that's certainly more, less price, it's better price just to do the essay. But that is definitely something you can work on now, is the college essay. And I know it doesn't sound like it would be that hard, 500 to 650 words about you. It's usually not so easy. It's a lot of angst and a lot of stress for students. So if you start now, you have plenty of time to get it done, plenty of time to think about it. So the first thing I would do is work on the college essay. That said, I work with a lot of juniors, as you imagine. Right now, I'm telling them just to focus on their APs and their finals. Nothing is going to change for college between now and the next 3-4 weeks. School is over for the next in the next 3-4 weeks. So I would say, give your attention to your schoolwork, give your attention to your AP exams if you have any of them, do the best you can. And then once that's done, start working on your Common App essay. The other thing is definitely ask your teachers for the letters of recommendation. As I said before, sure, you can ask your teachers in the fall, but it is so much nicer and more considerate, and the chance of you getting a better letter is if you ask your teachers before the summer, so they have time to work on your letters. Any other questions? I'm going to answer like 1 or 2 more, and then I always like getting off a little bit early, and then please feel free to email me, or I will reach out, as I said, or my company about that 1 hour. So it'll be great to answer more questions. And this is awesome. I love all these questions. This is great. Okay, what's next? I'm just reading down from Sylvana. How does WorkStudy play out? Does all money you make go straight to your tuition, or they take out a percentage so you can have some for yourself? To be honest, I don't 100% know. When I was a WorkStudy student a while ago, I just got a check, and what they meant, and so I could use it any way I wanted. But when they sent me, I guess when I saw the price of my college, they always included, like, I guess I would need other expenses. And so WorkStudy was going to help me pay for that. It didn't automatically go to tuition or anything. It was a check that went to me. And I think that's the way it's still done. So the money goes to you, and then I think you have to pay taxes on it, and then you use it for what you want to use it for. Let's see. And then I'll go last 2. I see one from Stephanie and one from Kira. Stephanie, is there any place to find someone to help for free with edits if I can't be with my teacher? On the college application, I assume this is for the essay. If you need someone to help for free, let us know. We do pro bono work through our company. So yeah, maybe we can help you with that. That would be great. Seriously. Kira, how many recommendation letters do you suggest I get? So it's not really a suggestion. Colleges will require you to have 1 from your counselor and 1 to 2 from teachers. So I guess I'd recommend that you get 2 teachers and 1 counselor, because that is what you will need for most of your colleges. However, because everything's a however with this college admissions, if you're only applying in state, you probably need none, because the Florida public schools do not request nor require nor want letters of recommendation. So you might want to hold off if you're looking to stay in state for, I guess, for a lot of the Florida schools. But if I was a junior, I probably would just get them just in case I wanted them, because I have worked with students who think they just want to stay in state, and then they change their mind, and then you'll have a letter, so you don't have to worry about it. All right, and with that in mind, it is 5:22. I kept you for almost an hour, which is pretty cool. And it looks like I'll turn over. And so once again, we will send it out about the free 1 hour consultation. I'll send it to you. We'll set that up. But it was super awesome to be with you today. So thank you so much for being here. And I'll turn it over to Jessica. I see her.
Yes, thank you so much. I just wanted to give a quick outro. Thank you all again for joining us. It's so great to see such a wide range of folks joining today. And thank you again to Mandee and International College Counselors for sharing your expertise with us. There are so many pieces of critical information, including ACT, SAT testing, deferrals, testing expectations, circumstances, like extracurriculars, ideas for how to have a productive and fruitful summer. Stay tuned on Achieve Miami updates. So thank you also for your amazing offer for 1 hour free college counseling to all the attendees here. I really hope that folks notice how huge that is and follow up with you and take advantage of that opportunity. We're looking forward to what's to come in terms of working with you all in the future, and we're so happy to have you here today. This is to everyone, before we end our time here, I just want to do 2 things. One, remind you to please take that survey, the 10 Days of Connection survey, and also flag for you our upcoming College Empower Hour, which will be taking place next Thursday, May 14th at 4:30 p.m. So the same time, Sheba Munn Thompson, a passionate community builder and yogi here in Miami, will be providing an educational yoga session called Power in Yoga. This is open to students, family members, really anyone in our community. And you might actually see some Achieve Miami folks on their staff members. I know I will be joining. And so we're really proud of the breadth of resources provided by this College Empower Hour, including what was talked about here today. And we really hope you'll join us for some college readiness wellness next week. The link, I just put it in the chat. And thank you again, Mandee and International College Counselors. We hope to see you all again in the future. And I hope you all have great days and weekends.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.